There is a great deal of Americans where it is uncomfortable that they're spending more, but they are not going to go under. You got to stop complaining.
Welcome to this week's Wacky Moments of Leftist Extremism. The leftist media has so much to teach us this week. I mean, are you tired of the high prices that we see under Biden inflation? Well, MSNBC tells us not to blame Joe. You just need to shut up and stop complaining.
So I'm going to need you to calm down and back off, because it feeds into this fear, and then this fear feeds into people making decisions that creates the very thing that they're fearful of. And if you're in that category, calm down.
I'm just going to pause the video right there, because that's a face that speaks of pure calm and serenity. Just calm down as she yells at you. We can't blame Joe for this. We need to enjoy it and keep leftists like Joe in power, and most importantly, shut the hell up.
When you talk about it every minute of every day, then every possible business out there raise their prices. Why? Because they can. Because no one's going to argue, why are you raising that price? Inflation, inflation, inflation. Every restaurant, I can't get enough workers. And they're not acknowledging that because of COVID and outside seating, they've now doubled the amount of customers they serve every day. And in the same way that we talk and panic so much about recession, we're getting people panicked for a recession coming.
I see a lot of economics is based on whether people complain, and then those complaints give greedy businesses, which are all of them apparently, the cover that they need to hike their prices. I, for one, truly enjoy Stephanie Ruhl's economic insights on MSNBC. You know, before I viewed her, I always used to think that recessions were, well, bad.
And we should remind our audience, a recession does not mean the Great Depression. They happen. They happen every few years, sometimes for a long period of time, sometimes for a short period of time. It is a normal part of our economic cycle.
Yep. See, you can't blame Joe. It's just a cycle, and he can't help but be stuck on that cycle. Or maybe not. But MSNBC is adamant that you can't blame Biden. Come on, voters. MSNBC is actively worried that you might be doing this.
Because this November, voters are going to go to the polls, and they're going to look in their pocketbooks and see less change. They're going to look in their bank accounts and see less savings. They're going to look on their kitchen tables and probably see fewer meals because of the cost of things. And that is going to be something that I hate to say it. The Republicans are going to take advantage of it.
Those horrible Republicans caring about food on tables and people having money in their savings. Come on, calm down, folks. Don't blame Biden.
Look, I'm also upset about rising gas prices. I'm also upset about prices rising. But I also know that it's Vladimir Putin's fault.
I see. The very calm, serene, non-shouty MSNBC analyst Ferdinand Amandi teaches us not only not to blame the White House, but certainly don't consider voting in anything other than Democrats if you want to change things.
If you think the economy is tight now, if you think prices are a problem now, if you think gas is a problem now, wait till you see what it's like in a totalitarian, fascist, authoritarian government, because you ain't seen nothing yet. And I say that as someone who comes from a Cuban family who go to Cuba now, ask me about gas prices and the economy over there, go to Venezuela, go to Russia.
See, if those fascist Republicans take over, then they'll install a communist government like in Cuba, because you certainly remember where gas prices were back when that fascist totalitarian Donald Trump was in office. They were like $2 a freaking gallon, I think. But calm down. Calm down. The leftist media tells us we mustn't complain about the economy. But, when the government isn't allowed to infringe upon your Second Amendment rights, well, then it's time to complain.
The Supreme Court handed down their decision that will allow New Yorkers to carry concealed firearms, striking down a centuries-old state law that made people have to prove that they had due cause to conceal and carry. Now, people are still processing all of this. The implications, we don't know really what it actually means, but, given everything New York City is going through, it seems, I don't even have the words, it seems stupid. No, it's worse than that.
Those stupid rights that those stupid people have in that stupid Constitution.
And I think that it is inevitable to say that the consequences of this opinion are that across the board, by and large, it is going to be more difficult to regulate in the space of gun rights.
More difficult for government to regulate your rights. I see why the leftist media is so upset. Maybe they could rationally discuss their position.
So if you are going to stop them, it is not going to be through convincing them. It is going to be through overpowering them by expanding the court with liberal justices who can read.
Or maybe they just want to pack the court and have total leftist dictatorial control over all branches of government. I mean, surely they wouldn't make stuff up to justify authoritarian control.
What the conservatives on the Supreme Court are saying is we want the Second Amendment to be a first-class right like the First Amendment. And we want to be able to carry guns anywhere, anytime, without any sort of regulation by the government, without background checks, without restrictions on where you can take a weapon, without restrictions on how you can carry a weapon.
Really? Does the really say that, Lubin Tubin?
Now, they haven't gone that far yet, but...
And if you think they lost their minds then, as I'm recording this, Roe v. Wade was just overturned and the leftist media meltdowns are just rolling in.
Stand by, Jeffrey. We do have breaking news just into CNN. The Supreme Court has just issued, and this is the decision many were waiting for, a ruling in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization. This, the major case regarding abortion rights in this country.
Yeah, it's a heartbreaking betrayal of half of the country. Sorry, I'm getting, watching the women there.
To have this far-right extremist, racist, classist, bigoted Supreme Court strike down Roe v. Wade.
Is that this is an activist decision. This is a decision that did not have to be made.
Of course, ABC is just sad that justices decided on constitutional law and they didn't listen to their leftist media opinions.
Justice Alito had written previously that we cannot allow our decisions to be affected by any extraneous influences.
The justices just ignored that media chant.
As you well know, Margaret, Roe versus Wade, Griswold versus Connecticut, these are settled cases.
First of all, Roe versus Wade has been decided for 50 years.
To rewrite decades of settled law.
Roe v. Wade was settled on a privacy issue, and it's the law.
Not quite as settled as they had hoped. A great day if you believe in protecting unborn lives. I'm sure there'll be many more delicious leftist meltdowns to come this weekend. We'll return next week with a complete wrap-up. In the meantime, celebrate life. I'm Eric Shiner from MRC-TV, asking you to like, share, and subscribe to our videos. Check out the pro-life gear available at the MRC Store. Please visit MRCTV.org, and we'll be back next week with more leftist media madness.